My brothers and sisters, we're going to talk today about living with joy and gladness of heart, but we're going to come at it through the back door because we're going to talk pretty extensively about curses. This is episode number 68 in the book of Deuteronomy, a very practical book, and today we'll end with real practicality. So yesterday we considered the blessings that chase you down and overtake you, a really wonderful thing. So surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, like it says in Psalm 23, and in Deuteronomy it says that the Lord will open for you his good treasury. So what kind of people does the Lord chase down with blessings? Well, is it just anybody? No, it's people that follow him, and God at the core wants to bless people. And what kind of people? People that obey his commands, people that are inclined to his thoughts and listen to his voice. So he doesn't promise rainbows and puppies. There are still enemies out there, but the blessings of the Lord is seen in the context of enemies and battles. So the presence and the favor of the Lord will best be seen even when enemies stand up and in the presence of mine enemies. Just like it says in Psalm 23, you prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. So the spiritual life is not lived absent conflict. It's lived absent aloneness. So today is going to be the other side of the coin, and that is curses for those who had the opportunity to follow. So we're talking about Israel here now, people that have had all this favor from the Lord, but they're cursed because they chose to make a poor response despite all the blessings that the Lord has had. All right, so there are curses if you're not careful. Careful to do what? Listen to his voice, obey his way. And then today we're going to emphasize serve him with a joyful and glad heart. So today I'm going to do quite a bit of editing because if you go to Deuteronomy 28, there are 53 verses in a row that talk about curses for Israel, that for people in Israel that have had all this abundant blessing and have yet chosen against the Lord. So there's 53 verses of curses for those particular people. So I'm going to edit those 53 down to just something a little bit more manageable. Perhaps it would have been more effective if I just would have read them all. So it talks about being frustrated, the curse of being frustrated in what you do, or being pursued by your enemies until you're defeated. It says that the people that don't follow him would be a horror to all the kingdoms of the earth, that they would even be struck with madness and blindness and confusion of mind. They're the kind of peoples that would have built a house but not dwelled in it. It's a people that have been oppressed and crushed continually. It says that the Lord will bring them, and the king that they have set over them, the Lord wanted to be king, but they chose a human king, Saul eventually. And then they talk about them being captive by a country that neither your fathers have known, nor you have known. I assume that's either Babylon or Assyria, where this people are militarily besieged. It gets so bad that they even are cannibalistic. And it's described that even a husband will begrudge food to the wife that he embraces. That's how bad the starvation is. You'll have enough seed, but no fruit of the seed. And your children will go into captivities, and everybody's going to sell themselves into slavery, and crickets will possess all your trees. And then there's a lot more. That's only like 10 of them. There's 40 more if you want. So all these curses, why? Verse 45. All these curses shall come upon you and pursue you and overtake you until you are destroyed. Here it is. Because you did not obey the voice of the Lord your God to keep his commandments and his statutes that he commanded. They shall be a sign and wonder against you and your offspring forever. And then here's the verse that caught me today. This is the one I want to highlight. Verse 47. Because you did not serve the Lord your God with joyfulness and gladness of heart, because of the abundance of all things. Therefore you shall serve your enemies, whom the Lord will send against you, in hunger and thirst and nakedness and lacking everything. So there's an obedience side. So you didn't obey the voice of the Lord, his commandments and his statutes. But today, you didn't serve the Lord with joyfulness and gladness of heart. So one of the principles in Deuteronomy that I'm really appreciating is make a response. This is in Deuteronomy 26:5. It says, "And you shall make response before the Lord your God." So the Lord has given so much. Hey, we're the family of God. He's chosen us. The least we could do is return the favor of affection towards him. He's given us everything. He set his love upon us. He's chosen us out of all the peoples of the earth. So an appropriate and maybe proportional response is due, which is to listen to his voice, understand it, and obey it, but then also do it joyfully. Verse 58, "If you are not careful to do all the words of the law that are written in this book, that you may fear this glorious and awesome name, the Lord your God, then the Lord will bring on you and your offspring extraordinary afflictions, afflictions severe and lasting, and sickness and grievous and lasting. And he will bring upon you again all the diseases of Egypt, which you were afraid, and they shall cling to you." I loved that in a bad way. All right. So the teaching point for these 53 cursive verses of cursing: you didn't serve the Lord your God with joy. You didn't serve the Lord your God with gladness of heart. So let's conclude today, and let's not be like the bad guys in the story. So if you had to pick 5 things that the Lord has given you to gladden your heart and serve him with joy, list them now. And I suggest you do it. Maybe it's the family of man, that you have a spouse or someone to embrace. Maybe it's being in the family of God. Maybe you have purpose for your life. Maybe you have fruitfulness in your work. But I would suggest, when this podcast ends in 15 seconds, hang up the podcast, but dial up God and thank him for 5 things. Be of joy. Be of gladness of heart for the abundance that he has given us. Thanks for listening.